Uh, no, 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 no. Jesus love you, dog.
The name is Fake D, also Daisy. Let me take it easy so you won't get dizzy. Let the sun shine, let the wind blow, let my heart beat and let the rain fall. He died for me in the cross of Calvary. That's why I stand to sing, cause he reign in me. He reign in me, Jesus reign in me. He reign in me, he reign in me. Jesus, I love you because you love me. Died on the cross for my sins cause you love me. And I need you always around me. And I'll never let you go cause I need you. Jesus, I love you because you love me. Died on the cross for my sins cause you love me. And I need you always around me. And I'll never let you go cause I need you. It's your life, he gave it to you. Joy, happiness, he gave all to you. No other God can do what he did, cause he'll take all your pain and your sorrow away. This man Jesus love me too much. Give him your heart, he will never let you fall. Just in him is your everything. Your master, your savior, your king and your superstar. I love you because you love me. Died on the cross for my sins cause you love me. And I need you always around me. And I'll never let you go cause I need you. Jesus, I love you because you love me. Died on the cross for my sins cause you love me. And I need you always around me. And I'll never let you go cause I need you.
I'm so crazy in love. This one, straight from above. My head they go low, just ask man so low. That's his banner over me is love. Pick me from the dungeon and let me fly high. The devil can't touch me, even if I try. Goodness and mercy always surround me. Big things with one, cause his favor they follow me. Imagine a man of glory came for redemption story. Just imagine how he loves me to fix up my stitches. My heart kept bubbling and so I kept praising. Big up to the most high. Big up to the most high God.
Jesus, I love you because you love me. Died on the cross for my sins cause you love me. And I need you always around me. And I'll never let you go cause I need you. Jesus, I love you because you love me. Died on the cross for my sins cause you love me. And I need you always around me. And I'll never let you go cause I need you.
Chef Production.
Glory to Jesus, Glory to Jesus, Not because of your love, and make other done so, Not because of your grace, now it's me up high, Not because of the way you don't cover I give you the praise, got it away. Got it away. Don't turn me up around, got it away. Every day when I wake up in the morning, you on my mind, Lord. Every situation I've been in, you don't save me. The grace and plenty, and the love and plenty, and anytime I go through all to know me. And now I'm a testimony, the grace and plenty, and your love plenty. Anytime I go through all to know me. And now I'm a testimony, hey, you don't save me, Jehovah, now you ain't not saving me, hey, Lord, you don't save me, and I give you the praise, not because of your love, Not because of your grace.
Not because of the way.
The way you don't come on me, and I give you, Daddy, away.
You know me what's a size, know me what's a size,
Daddy, away. You don't turn me left around, yeah. Say, Daddy, away. Every million, yeah. Only you, where they blow my mind. If not for you, I fall and die. Try, I fall and die. You know me what a size stone. Only you where they make all the dance, where they make all the sing, all the feel alright. Yeah, today we must to give him praise and to celebrate with it. Celebrate, today we must to give him praise and to celebrate with it. Celebrate, Daddy, away. You don't tell me left around, yeah. Say, Daddy, away. Now you know the God where they do anything where you say you go do, oh. Only you they give me joy.
Big God, mighty God, big God, mighty God, big God, mighty God. You wear the hills and the mountains in the scale. You hold the ocean, now you won. You sabi the number of Santana the sea, and you know the number of Ianami 8. Big God, mighty God, oh, mighty God, big God, big God, mighty God, oh, mighty God, big God, big God, mighty God, mighty God, big God, big God, mighty God, oh, mighty God. You wear the hills and the mountains in the sky. You are the ocean, now you are. Go. Yes, I be the number of stars and I see. Yeah, you know the number of the enemy. Everybody sing, say, big God, mighty God, oh, mighty God, big God, oh, big God, mighty God, oh, mighty God, you know the big God, big God, mighty God, mighty God, big God, big God, mighty God, oh, mighty God, you wear the hills and the mountains in the sky. You are the ocean, now you are. Come on. You sabi the number of stars and the sea. Yeah, you know the number of the enemy. Everybody sing, say, big God, mighty God, oh.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We're back again this Sunday. I know it's been a while. We haven't been here for like 2 Sundays now, but we're here now. We just took a short break to just put certain things together for you lot to make the program more interesting, more entertaining for all of you. So each and every one of you will be able to enjoy the program more than you have been enjoying it throughout the past few weeks. So today we would not be having the normal competitions that we always have, but we would be having an interesting conversation with three young men, three young Christian men, who would be giving their own experiences and their own opinions or their own inputs on the topic, recognizing temptation as a young person, as a Christian to be precise. So we'll be having three of these men today with us, to just give their own insights on this discussion, because this topic is one that I don't think a lot of us as Christians have frequently, or we talk about amongst ourselves. And the main reason why we started doing this talk in the first place, because this segment of this the Gospel Academy show is called The Talk, where we come together with different guests to just have certain discussions on different topics, to be honest, different topics where we'll just come together, give our own insights, our own experiences. Nobody's right or wrong here. Every discussion we have here is based off on our own experiences and our own personal experience, like I said. So I'll just go on and introduce the guys to you. So we have King David with us. King David, if you can hear us, just say hello.
Hello, people. This is King David. How are you? How are you, Memuna? Too.
I am good, fine. Thank you. How are you?
I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm happy to be on this live
And we
show.
have
Yeah, I'm happy.
okay, and we have Brother Bobbly. So if you can hear us, Brother Bobbly, please just wave your hand or say hi or say hello, introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone. Hi, Mr. David.
And
Hi,
we
Bobby.
have
How
with
are you?
us my own personal person, my own cancel, Mr. or should I say Barrister Cyril Taylor Young.
Just cereal. Cereal is okay.
Okay, Cyril, just introduce yourself and just say hi to the audience, so like the other guys.
Hello.
Oh,
Hello, Bubbly.
Hello,
Hi,
Mr.
Mr.
Taylor.
C.
How are you, sir?
Hello. I am fine. I'm Cyril Tiloyong, and I'm happy to be part of this.
Wow.
yay! We're all happy. I'm grinning so much. I don't know why, but I think this topic is going to be really interesting. So we're not even going to waste time. We're just going to dive into it because we want to catch up, and everyone must have their own ideas flowing through now. So we're just going to dive into the discussion. So if you want to join us, to our audience, if you want to join this discussion, if you want to give your own comment on the topic, please do use the link in the comment section to join us, or you can just leave a comment or ask questions in the comment section if you do not want to call. But mind you, when you do call, we'll give you a minute to just say what you have to say or give your own input, and then we'll continue the discussion with the three gentlemen that I have with me today. I would just take these things off so you can see their names on the screen properly. Okay, so I think we should go first with Minister David to just tell us a bit about himself and just a short introduction before we start, so you all can know the different people that we have with us today. And yeah, so Minister David, you can go on and just introduce yourself to us.
Okay, thank you, Memuna. Good evening again, once more, viewers and listeners. I am David Bangali Lamin, also known as King David, or some people call me Wise Man. I'm a gospel singer in Sierra Leone, and basically, I think that's just what I want to say about myself for now.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. My name is Bobley Dumbia. I'm a poet, a writer, an activist, a branding consultant, and I live for Jesus, saved by grace.
Hello. I'm not sure if I'm online.
Hello? Hello? Okay. Cyril, you are online. We can see you and we can hear you. So I'm not sure um why you might not be online on your end, but we can see you and we can hear you. Hello? Can you hear me
Yes,
now?
hello. I can get you now.
Okay, all right, okay.
Yes, yes, I'm hearing you. So I believe you asked me a question.
Yeah, we just want you to do a short introduction
Did you?
about yourself and who you are so people
Okay.
can know you.
Sorry, I think my line is having issues. I am Cyril Tiloyong. I am a Christian. I am married to Florence Tiloyong. By the grace of God, I can sing. Yes. And I'm a lover of God. I'm a lover of people as well. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for that, gentlemen. We'll just go on with the discussion. So basically, as I stated earlier, I think I discussed this with all of you. Our topic for today is recognizing temptation, not only as a young person but as a Christian also. And I think we're all of us here, and even the people viewing this live now can attest to the fact that we've all been through temptations. We're all going through temptations every single day of our lives. But while we're here in this platform, or what we're here to discuss is discuss our own experiences. We don't need to get very personal about our experiences, but we should just need to, because the viewers here also to are also here to learn from our own experiences and how we dealt with them. So the discussion will be mainly between the three of you. I'm just here to just guide the discussion and moderate, as they say. So I'll just go first with Mr. Taylor Young, the husband of Mrs. Taylor Young. Can you just talk us through your own experiences with temptation and how you've been able to overcome certain things that have come your way?
All right. First of all, I'll define what temptation is. Temptation is a strong desire to do something. It can be positive, it can be negative. I believe in the Christian sense, when we talk about temptation, we actually mean the negative aspect, the sinful things that our desires push us to do. And definitely, as young people, we mostly face temptations of either the opposite sex, money, fame, power, and wealth. Yes, what money. So we tend to do a lot of things to achieve or gain those things. And for me, I have faced all of them. I am a young man from a very humble background, and definitely what people might be thinking about you. I go through the ranks of education in my school. I became, well, the head prefect, and you go to university, you are tempted to do a lot of things to keep your name going. You finish university, you are tempted to do a lot of things as well to find a job, to be successful. It's like a race in life. And you see your peers, some people whom you've been, having more grades than in school, they are moving far ahead of you. And then you are forced to do a lot of things. But in the fact that I'm a Christian, that is where the difference comes in. the understanding that these things are mere temporary things, and they will not lead me to gain eternal life, the salvation that God has given to me. And so it's a constant battle daily. I can't say I've overcome every one of them. No, I struggle because I'm a human being. Now that I'm married, I can tell you for a fact that the temptation for earning money, trying to make sense out of my life and my family's life is even more than before. And also, as people normally say, when you get married, single ladies love married men, and so the temptation is greater than before. And so that's it. I've been through it. I've been through a lot of it, right through the years, and I thank God for today.
Okay. So, viewers, don't go anywhere because this is just the start of the conversation. This is just an introduction to the topic itself. We're going to go in depth as time goes on. So, we'll now move on to King David. Tell us
Yeah.
how your own experience with temptation, how you've been able to go through temptation and overcome temptation.
So I don't want to redefine temptation as my brother Seal have done. So I just want to go to the topic specifically. As a young person, basically I'm not married. That's one thing. So as a young person, temptation is just like part of young people. And even us as Christians, it's more because the Bible says the devil is there trying to steal, kill, and destroy. So he's always there to tempt young people. Like for me, I've gone through a lot in terms of trying to get money, in terms of sin, in terms of immorality, in terms of being a musician, somebody that can sing, in terms of the attraction, being a young person, you are educated, you have a job, you can sing. So a lot of temptation, I've gone through a lot. But one thing for sure for me, I know is that even though I go through all of this temptation, I know there is a God. Because the Bible tells us that it's not by our might, not by our power, but it's by the Spirit. So most of the time I go through most of these temptations and try to see, depending on God, to overcome them. Because by myself, for me, I know by myself, I can't. By myself, I can't. But with God, I know it's possible. So I go. Hello.
Yeah, I can get you.
Yes. So I'm
we
getting
can hear
some
you.
feedback. Yeah, I'm getting some feedbacks. I don't know if it's from my part, or
Okay, I
hello.
hear you guys clearly.
No, I can get you clearly.
Yes, I'm getting some feedback. I don't know if it's from me or okay. So as I was saying, as a young person, I've gone through most of the temptations you can think about. Before, okay, let me just say this. I was also been a Christian. I became a Christian 2006. That was when I gave my life to Christ. 2006, when I was in senior secondary school. I was in SS3 at that time. I gave my life to God. 2006. So I've seen it all as a young person. I've seen it all. Every temptation you can think about as a young person, I've seen them. I've faced them. But one thing I know is that God can save anybody. And it's only God that can save and protect you. It's only by the grace of God you are free. So that's one thing I know, and that's one thing I keep telling myself, and that's one thing I keep holding on. The belief, the faith I have in Jesus, that no matter the temptation, I'll be able to go through. So I've faced actually a lot of temptation, a lot, as a young person. And even viewers out there watching this program presently, most are going through it. Sometimes people think when you talk about temptation, it's just about sin. Like, let me say sin about immorality or about stealing. Even the temptation to be rich. There are people who are envious about the wealth of others. There are a lot of people who think they want to be like someone else. So you can see a young person seeing a lady or seeing a guy doing well. They don't know the source of their wealth or where they are getting the money from or what is the reason for them succeeding. They become tempted to be like them. So what will happen? They will go through a lot of things just to be like that person. So a lot of people are going through temptations in a lot of ways, not just the immorality or the stealing or the lying, but there are a lot of temptation. As presently in this age we are living in, the technological age, there are a lot of things that tempt us as young people, even as Christians. That's most of the time want to take us off the post. There are a lot of things that we go through. So for me, I think I've gone through most, and I'm still fighting them, and I'm depending on God to go through all of them and become a victor.
Okay. This the areas that you and Cyril have drawn from are quite interesting, and it's good that from the start now we're establishing that temptation is not just about immorality, which is mostly when we talk about temptation, when we talk about or when we say the word temptation as Christians, people start to think about immorality and things like that, especially for young people. So it's good that we're lighting the different ways that people are tempted, young people are being tempted with these days. So Bobbly, can you just walk us through your own idea or your own opinion about
Hello,
temptation? Bobbly?
David. Can you hear me?
Um,
Okay. All right.
Hello everyone. Wonderful, and I love the angle. I like the angle basically that my fellow colleagues are coming from, and it is indeed wonderful. But I think I want to take a U-turn. I want to be somewhat different, and I'll start off by saying we need to understand we need to understand temptation, and we need to understand recognize, because we're saying recognizing temptation. When you recognizing is something that, let me say, when you identify something or someone from having encountered them, that meaning you've encountered something, that is the meaning of recognize, like you know again, so basically, temptation is the desire to do something that is especially is the desire to do something that is wrong or unwise. Is the desire to do something that is wrong or unwise, and many a times, as people, as a people, we there are times we've had some temptations, and we've had them, and then when the devil comes with it again, when the devil comes with it again, we recognize that this I've been through this, but somewhere around the corner, some youths they have been messing around, thinking that it is it is just normal. It is not normal, and temptation is something. It's a desire to do something unwise. It is a desire to do something that's not pleasing to God, and there are times in my life, Mr. Taylor Young, when you spoke about money, and I'm a working class individual, and I go school. I mean, I go to college, and there are times when I see my colleagues, when I see my colleagues having the nice car, living the nice apartment. There are times, I, there are times it's really bothering me. There are times I feel so depressed. Like I need something. I need the cash. And interestingly, can I share this with you guys? Can I share this? I want to share something. I don't know
Go on,
if
brother Bobbly.
okay. Um, it's happened to me quite recently. I had an opportunity to make to make 60 million loans just in 2 days. Like I had an opportunity to make 60 million loans in 2 days. Like I knew within myself that it is wrong, and the route that I want to go, it is absolutely wrong. So what I did was I spoke to God. I said, this thing is not right. It's not right. Despite the fact that I'll be having the money like consistently, probably until I leave this earth. But I thought it again that this is not right. I'm a child of God. I'm a church leader. I preach at church. I motivate people. I try to. Then if I'm doing this stuff, come on, if I'm doing this, it's absolutely bad. It's absolutely bad for me, and people don't like it. And so I went to the drawing board and see to myself that this is not good. So I didn't do it. And last week I had again another opportunity to make $10,000 to $20,000 a month. Really, it's kind of crazy. Really, it's kind of crazy. But looking at it as a young man, I need to step up my. Like, I'm having this this I'm having this thing talking to me. You need to step up your game. You need to make money. You need to live a better life. And interestingly, I see some of my colleagues driving Range Rover. I was like, oh God, what is happening? What is really happening? And it's really frustrating. It's really frustrating when you're seeing people at your age doing extremely well.
Time
It's
is
really,
going.
really
Yes.
frustrating.
Th- It's like there's a ticking clock
Yeah,
inside.
yeah, exactly, and it's really frustrating. And me, working at the government, I've seen some kind of level up, some kind of things that are playing, and there's all amount of tendency for you to involve. Really, there's all amounts of tendency for you.
Yeah, Ella, eh, yeah,
Yeah, Mr. Young, you're trying to say something.
Hello?
Hello, yeah, I can hear you. I thought I am Mr.
Cyril, can
Young.
you hear me? No, I think
Well,
his internet. Cyril?
okay.
Just go on. When he
yeah,
comes back,
yes. I was trying to say first of all, showing your point that it's like there is a biological or internal ticking clock, telling you that time is going. Your friends, your peers are having their mansions, they are
Exactly.
living an affluent life, and you are struggling wherever you are. That is always ticking within us.
Yeah. So as I was saying, like
Yeah,
yes,
hello.
Mr. David, we can hear you. Like as I was saying, like temptation is a desire to do something unwise, is a desire to do something that is not pleasing to God. So as child of God, we must come to a position. Anyways, let me just take something. There's a difference between recognizing temptation and detecting temptation. There is a big difference between recognizing temptation and detecting temptation. Like for Mr. Taylor Young, I know you're a lawyer and you've been in the legal field for quite some time. So when we talk about detect, I stand to be corrected. It's let us say it's so like it's a verb basically, and it's to discover or observe it's to observe the existence of something. So I can say again is to uncover something. So there are times as Christians when something wants to come on our way, like we know, we detect it, like we uncover that this is coming directly from the devil, and this temptation, I cannot, I can, it can pass over, it can pass over. So, as Christians, I think we need to understand the difference between recognizing temptation and detecting temptation. When you're recognizing, it's like you know again that it's just like if you've given into sexual immoralities with different girls, and then after you giving your life to Christ, you rededicate your life, and you're at the throne, you're worshiping, then you have the same experience again. That is the moment you're recognizing something, like you're recognizing that this I've been through this, and I know what the implication. I know the things that are involved. So as Christians, we need to be in a position where we can detect and we can recognize temptation. So I'll stop here for now.
Okay, interesting takes on temptation and how, and interesting stories as well. But I like Brother Bubbly just gave us a very personal side of how his encounter with temptation,
Yeah,
and
Memunatu, if I can
yeah,
come in at that
go on, go
point,
on, go on, go on.
as Mr. Bobley was saying, I hope you're getting me. Bobley, are you getting me?
Bubbly.
The rains in the past few days, I think they've caused some connection issues around this area.
Yeah.
Please just give me a signal if you can get me.
Yes.
We can
I
all hear.
can.
Cyril, we can hear you.
Yeah, it will take some time for our message to actually get to him because of the network. So let's just give him some time.
You can get me. And
Yep.
that's about 1 minute ago. I'm not sure my connection is quite good. I wanted to say that um, you have to have a kind of paradigm shift, a kind of encounter with some being. Now, in our Christendom, it is Christ. You have to have that encounter with Christ for you to know that the path that you've been leading is wrong. And that knowledge is what you are trying to say, understanding, recognizing what this temptation is. And then you start the battle or the fight against your old desires and your new desires. The Bible tells us that we must continue to work out our faith. You understand? To continue to be converted into Christ every day. It's a battle daily. And so you need to have that encounter. And that's what we're trying. And read the Bible. Many people go to church, they become born again. Yes, they become not to know the word. And it is the word that tells you that is where you come to know why your old desires were wrong. Now, when I was at Forabe College, well, during our examinations, people do not know that spying was wrong, or showing someone, like someone asking you in the hall and you telling the person the answer was wrong. Now, it's not stated in the Bible, I mean, explicitly that, showing someone in the examination hall is wrong. But the very Bible teaches us to obey authorities. Now, the authorities have stated that these things to do in the hall are wrong. And so many people might be saying it's not written in the Bible that if I spy, not a bad thing. But
Try to find excuses.
but the Bible, yes, they try to find the excuses to fit themselves.
Yeah.
But the very Bible, as I said, teaches us that we have to obey authorities. And if they say these are the rules of the game, you have to play by the rules. And if you do not play by the rules, then there is an issue. Then you are yielding to your temptation, to the temptations that are running after you. I can remember vividly, there is a brother. I was in third year. He was also with me in third year. And we were there. He was a Christian and I was as well. We had been taught. I was a member of the Bible Study Union at Forabe College, and we had been taught that showing someone in the examination hall was wrong. But that day, I witnessed it. Like someone, they can say block in a hall. Like he was there. He was looking at the ceiling. He was sitting right beside me. I was writing, and he was there. He was looking at me. Like he was looking at me. I was writing. But he was all the way he was looking at me, he was telling me, "Don't you dare tell me what to write." He did not fail the course, actually. I had better grades than him, but what he hoped for, he did not get. But I saw someone going through the real or the reality of temptations, and he passed the test in my own standards. He passed the test. And so, I mean, as Bobley was saying, recognizing, if you have to recognize the temptation, someone has to tell you that this what you have been doing is wrong. And you start battling, fighting, because it's like these are our body, there are inbuilt desires within it that no matter what we do, it's like our bodies push us towards one side, and we have to fight and battle that, and that's where Christ comes in.
Okay. Brother David, do you have anything to add to that before we go on a short break?
Yes. So as Cyril was talking about the exam malpractice, so those are little things that most of the time Christians or people see as that's no sin. So that's the reason why when I was talking about temptation, I said it's not just about those that we have in our minds when you talk about somebody stealing, somebody is fornicating, or somebody is lying. There are those little things that affect us as Christians. And most of the times, we don't take them into consideration. Like, for example, those of us that are working, you may be working and then there's a kickback. So what do you say as a Christian? Not to me money, that an organization money, not to nobody money. So you receive that money, that's a temptation. And it happens almost every day to Christians in working places. It happens almost every day. No, this not to nobody, you're not to nobody money, but you're doing it and it's happening. So as Cyril was saying, most of the time, and another thing is that the hypocrisy in Christianity have affected us as Christians. There are people, instead of helping you to overcome the temptation, what they will do, they will use the temptation against you and start like persecuting you as a Christian. So you will say a brother going through certain things. Let's say this brother is a Christian coming to church every day. He will find it difficult to pay transport to come to church. He find it difficult to feed himself. Even he doesn't even have better clothes to wear as a Christian coming to church. And then this brother wants to be coming to church. This brother needs transport to come to church. This brother needs food to eat. What will happen? Let's say the brother, something happened, the brother fall into sin, maybe by taking something that does not belong to him. What will happen? Instead of calling that brother, talking to that brother, or encouraging that brother, we stand in the church and start talking about the brother, persecuting him, telling him he's a sinner, he's the worst person. So most of the time, that's the reason why a lot of people, when they go into temptation, it's difficult for them to come out of temptation, for them to come out of it. So when they enter into temptation and start sinning, for them to come out of that sin, it becomes very difficult. Because those that should be helping that person to come out are the ones that are persecuting the person, are the ones that are talking about the person without praying for the person, or without helping the person to come out of it. So it's become more worse. Because let's say, for example, I may be that person that I'm in the office, I'm receiving some kickbacks. Then I'll share with a brother and say I'm receiving it. What will happen? They will start, that brother, don't see where they make so. Then I them chap where they chap in our office. Talk to me as a Christian. This is wrong. This is what you should be doing. This is how you should do it. I will help you pray to overcome it. We know it's difficult. It's not easy, but we will pray for you. So I think we need to start recognizing also how to help people when they fall into temptation or when they start sinning, how to help them come out of those sins as young people.
Okay. Yeah. I think we some questions are coming in, and sorry, some questions are coming in, and we'll get to those questions after we come back from our break. So it'll just be for a second. So just stay on, gentlemen, and we'll be right back.
Mentor Africa, the future of Africa. Take a deep breath. Lend me your attention. Think about yourself for a minute, about who you were before you became who you are. Would you say throughout your journey you had not a single mentor? Someone whose experience, skill helped you grow? Some of the most successful people stated they had, in one stage of their lives, benefited from mentorship. As a matter of fact, here are some iconic mentorship. Steve Jobs mentoring Mark Zuckerberg, Maya Angelou mentoring Oprah Winfrey, Warren Buffett mentoring Bill Gates, Sir Freddie Laker mentoring Richard Branson. As the world struggles with issues of minority inclusion, it has become increasingly difficult for millions of people to access the right mentors, coaches, or sponsors. And unfortunately, the Black African communities are the most unlikely of these to ever access a sound mentoring program.
Hallelujah. We worship you, Jesus. Somebody lift your hands and say, beautiful Jesus, excellent Lord, wonderful Savior, you are to me. Beautiful Jesus, excellent Lord, wonderful Savior, you are to me. Beautiful Jesus, excellent Lord, wonderful Savior, you are to me, you are to me. I'm here, surrounded by you. Shout I am. Somebody sing wonderful Counselor, beginning and the end, Alpha Omega, that's who you are. Wonderful Counselor, beginning and the end, Alpha Omega, that's who you are. He lives in me, He moves in me, in Him I have my being. Jesus lives in me, and He moves in me. In Him I have my being. I am. I am surrounded. I have my being. I'm in Christ in me. I'm the branch and He's the vine. I say I am in Christ, and Christ Jesus is in me. He is the potter, and I am the clay. I say I am blessed, I am blessed, I am saved, I am saved, I am healed, and I am beautiful, I am wonderful, I'm a child of God. That's who I am.
The Son of Man, only begotten of the Father, life and life.
Mentor X Africa, the future of Africa. Take a deep breath. Lend me your attention. Think about yourself for a minute, about who you were before you became who you are. Would you say throughout your journey you had not a single mentor? Someone whose experience, skill helped you grow? Some of the most successful people stated they had, in one stage of their lives, benefited from mentorship. As a matter of fact, here are some iconic mentorship. Steve Jobs mentoring Mark Zuckerberg, Maya Angelou mentoring Oprah Winfrey, Warren Buffett mentoring Bill Gates, Sir Freddie Laker mentoring Richard Branson. As the world struggles with issues of minority inclusion, it has become increasingly difficult for millions of people to access the right mentors, coaches, or sponsors. And unfortunately, the Black African communities are the most unlikely of these to ever access a sound mentoring program.
I didn't know you were not here. I didn't realize that I was on mute. So we're back and we'll just answer the question that Mrs. Taylor Young asked. Sorry, it doesn't say Mrs. Taylor Young. I'll have a discussion with her about that. The name needs to change on Facebook as well. So the question she has on here for us is, as men, so this is for the guys, how did you overcome that particular temptation that always left you in your knees? So I think we'll give Mr. Taylor Young the courtesy to go first.
All right. As men, I think if it's not money, it's women. As men, it's not money, it's women that will be. And for me, she knows that it's women. It is women because I just stated that some people, some ladies, well, single ladies, it is when you're married that yes, and in those days when when you would have indulged into those things and then you start praying, I think it is just the grace of God. For men, it is the grace of God that keeps us from falling, because somebody had told me one day that if a woman has set you as her target, no matter the number of years, except the grace of God, she will she will get you. And so when I look at Joseph's accounts in the Bible, I realized that not just discipline, but it was God's grace as well. Because men, we are easily tempted when it comes to that. Women mostly know the soft sides of men and they tend to use it. But when you have the grace of God and you have been praying for God to help you in those areas, God will not leave you when you face that battle. And remember, Corinthians says that He will not get you into a temptation that you don't have the courage to overcome. And so, no matter the temptation, definitely, God will help you. And so, for me, that was it.
I think we'll move on to King David. Do you want to just go on and answer that question Mrs. Taylor Young asked? I'll just put it
Um,
up again.
yeah, I think Cyril have said most of the things I wanted to say. As I started earlier, it's only by the grace of God. Most of the time, people, yeah, it's the grace. Trust me, it's the grace of God. Nobody can boast of it. You can't boast that I'm able to face this temptation and then overcome without the grace of God. He made a point about Joseph. Yeah, it was only by the grace of God that Joseph was able to overcome. And so a lot of men face these challenges. Some would do it. That I wrote a song. I wrote a song. The video is on YouTube. It's called Addiction. That was one of the that was where I got the inspiration for addiction. Because a lot of people are doing things, so many things in their life, and they will come to church and pray and say, I will not do it again. They will go to pastor, pray, pastor, this is what I'm going to. I don't want to do this. I will not do it again. And then later, they will see themselves doing it. They will see themselves going back where they are coming from. So, like for men, for example, let me say, like for Cyril, who is a married man. For Cyril, who is a married man, for him to overcome such, it takes the grace, and even for us as young people, it takes the grace and also the support of the wives of married men. The support. They need those supports. Praying for them, asking God for the grace to go through those temptations, because trust me, it only takes the grace to overcome.
Okay.
Hello, can you hear me?
We can hear you. We're here. So I think that leaves. Sorry, guys. That leaves Mr. Bubbly. I've been just supposed to switch to quick ball. English failed me at this point. So, Brother Bubbly, can you just go on and just let me just put up the question again. So, guys, another disclaimer.
They are, if I can add to what David was
Yeah,
saying,
go on.
are you getting me?
Yeah, go on. Siri.
Okay. Okay, Mr. C, you can say something after you.
Yes, I saw a comment just now that it is not just women and money, but also nowadays the youths are tempting each other into drugs and other temptations like possessions and all. But for young people, I think the largest of scales, when you scale all of the temptations, I think money and women, well, for men, money and women, it tops the chart. For other things like drugs and other things, I think it depends on the community that you find yourself, and well, even the school community that you find yourself. But for women and money, it cuts right across. Only by the grace of God that you can survive those things. Even me, I'm still banking on the grace of God that I don't fall, because you can't stand you no man has that power. Honestly, no man does, except by the grace of God that keeps young people from that.
Yeah, exactly. If I can say what mm, Mrs. Taylor Young, the comments. Look, how can you overcome such a temptation? Basically, it has to do with you being disciplined and also you knowing what you're doing. And the Bible says we should flee from temptation. We should flee. And as young people, as guys specifically, we one of the most challenging temptation is women. And trust me, when you've made up your mind that you can't date, or you just wanna live a God-fearing life, you see a particular lady and the way she talks to you, come on, the temptation is so hard. And as for me personally, I like to
I'm
I like to
sorry,
use
guys. This is funny.
I'll use myself as an example. Um, apparently, before I started working at the Directorate of Science, Technology, and Innovation (DSTI), um, I'm that type of individual who is so conservative when it comes to my life and what I'm doing. I'm going to the STI, and I started to see some ladies and started to have some kind of conversation. I was like, what is going on? What is going on? And I remember sometime my birthday my birthday, a lady at the office said, oh Mr. Bauer, I want to make you dinner, blah 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 blah. And then we cut the long story short, I was at the house, blah blah, enjoying, and then the kind of temptation, oh God. Really, it is really difficult. It is absolutely difficult. If we're not disciplined, we'll absolutely get ourselves into mess. We absolutely get ourselves into mess. So we need to come to a position where we should be disciplined. We should be absolutely disciplined. The Bible says flee, flee. These are things we should not joke with. We should definitely not joke with it. When it comes to ladies seducing, oh, they are very good. They are very good. They are very good when it comes to seducing men. And I believe I was one time I was speaking with my pastor, and then he said, Bob, why wouldn't you get married? I was like, oh, Pastor, hold up. I know it is absolutely difficult, but he was trying to put me in a position wherein I can be faithful. Like, but you can be faithful also if you can't involve yourself in sexual immoralities if you're having, like, if you have a wife at home. You can't be having such problems. But looking at it from another angle again, we must come to a position wherein we must be disciplined, and the discipline it entails a lot, basically, because
Can
there
I
are
say something, Brother Bubbly?
things
The
that
area that you're diving
to
into
do.
now, I think there is a question on that at the moment. So if we could just go to that question, and then we can explain further on because the question that was asked relates to what you were going into now. So I think we should just go on to that question. Also by Mrs. Taylor Young. So, guys, one more disclaimer. Mrs. Taylor Young is my older sister, and I'm very proud of her today, asking very salient questions. Okay. All right. I'll go to Brother David to answer this question, and then we'll go to um, Brother Bobley and Mr. Taylor Young. Okay. So, Brother David, can you see the question? Hello.
Hello, are you asking me?
I asked David. So we'll start with David, and then we go on to you, Cyril, and then we go back to Bubbly. So no, we go to Bubbly, then you, because we want your answer to be the final answer for that question. So go to David, then Bubbly, then you, Mr. Taylor Young. David, can you hear me? Or do you want me to read out the question she asked? You're on mute, David. You are on mute.
Oh,
Yeah,
Oh,
sorry. Okay, sorry. Yeah. So I'm seeing the question already.
okay.
Yes. So going to this question that says, having recognized. Hey, can I see the question?
Sorry.
Okay. Having recognized that temptation, example, a lady who is bent to getting you on your nails or heel gotten money, what barriers do you set to flee search? So, firstly, if you one thing I tell people, if you don't want to get a conversation with someone, don't start it. If you know you can't continue to talk with that person, or if you know this person have an hidden agenda with this conversation he or she is bringing to me, don't continue with that conversation. Don't encourage that conversation. So what happened is that most of the time people encourage the conversation and then think they are Superman or Superwoman. They'll be able to resist, they'll be able to flee no matter what, they can overcome it. So most of the time, if you don't want to continue with anything from the onset, when you recognize that, okay, this man or this woman is coming at me because they want something in return, and what they are asking for I can't give because it's a sin, it's going to be something that I will have to have issue with my God. I don't want to continue with it. I don't want to do it. And then the person starts that conversation with you. First and foremost, don't encourage that person. Let's say a lady is buying you gift as a young man. A lady is buying you gift. How can a lady who is not your sister, neither your mother or your aunt, your relative, start buying you gifts? You already know this person has something in her mind. There is something that this person is looking for. Because how can you start buying me gift, sending sending in the morning when you wake up in the morning, you see message, hey, how are you?
This is
How
close.
is work? How are you doing?
Doing
How can you do that?
duties.
How can so if you know this lady has started this conversation and you know this will lead to another thing, what you do is that don't continue that conversation. Stop the conversation from the beginning. Nobody is Superman or Superwoman. Nobody, even those who are bishops, pastors, reverends, prophets, nobody is a Superman or Superwoman. If you know this is a temptation, this lady or this guy is looking for something else, you don't want to, don't encourage that conversation. So the barrier for me you can set from the onset, don't encourage the conversation. Don't continue with the conversation. If you continue, trust me, things will happen that you may end up regret. I think that's my point from that question.
Okay, thank you for that, David. I think Bobby, you were along that line explaining from your own experiences. So if you just like to continue, because I think it's the questions is kind of linked to what you were saying.
Yeah, as for me, I've had a lot of experiences because I've been in the church and I know what those ladies in the church, what they can do, what they're capable of doing, really. And
This line today.
can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
There was one time, I can't name the church, basically. I can't name the church. At one time, I'm in the church and I'm doing the things of God and being recognized by people, knowing my work that I do. And there was one time I was having a conversation with a lady at the church. She was calling me every day, calling me, trying to check on me. And I know within myself that it is not proper for a lady to be checking on you, just calling you, asking you how you're doing, sending you cards, sending you money. And I played along for some time. I played like I'm good. How you do? Oh my god! What she did was she took a video of herself um twerking. I probably some of you might know the term twerking. She took a video of herself twerking, and I was so disappointed. So what I did was I told her, in fact, we were part of the same ministry, we were part of the same youth ministry. What I told her was, I said, don't ever call me don't come to youth meeting, because at that time I was the leader. So they'll come to youth meeting, and if you do, I will report you to pastor. And from that moment, she didn't call me again, and we didn't have a conversation again from that moment, because I do a mark that if you step on this mark, I'll go crazy. So the question that she's saying, as Christians, as young Christians, we should be in a position wherein we should be disciplined, the Joseph type, the Joseph type. We should be disciplined in whatsoever we're doing. We should be absolutely disciplined. We should come to a position where we should not bend, no matter the situation. We should not bend. And there are times when we bend, it's kind of bad, and the way we put ourselves in front of people that we're that type of holy person. And as church leaders, we are going through a lot, because we have most temptation from the ladies in the church, and it's tempting. What they say to you, what they do to you, what all of that kind gesture. And as a young man, as a young man, me calling a lady every day, calling her, checking up on her, sending her gifts. It is unusual. Like really, it is unusual. Let us take this out of the church. It is unusual for a young man to be calling a lady that you're not, you guys are not into relationship. You're calling her, trying to treat her like a queen, taking her out, buying things. No, it is unusual. So if we know that that thing we actually absolutely lead to fornication, we should stop it immediately, because we doing that, we endanger ourselves, our family, because whatsoever we're doing, we're representing our church, our community, our family, and ourselves. So we must be in a position where we must be whatsoever we're doing. We must be disciplined, even in the office. There are times, like what Mr. Davis said. He say an office money, no joy eater. So the office money, no joy eater. We must come to a position where we must be disciplined, and discipline is a key. Is a key. Is a key in us living, the purpose, in us living a purposeful life, in us living a God-fearing life. We must be
Okay.
disciplined. We
So
must be
the
disciplined.
question, I think Nana feels like her question has not been answered by either one of the guys. So she went back to the comment section to rephrase, and basically she wants to know how either one of you overcame that temptation, where talking about the ladies and them being hell-bent on getting that man that they said they would get by all means. um what do you do to overcome that temptation? How did you, because you just explained that you've been through that already, how did you overcome that temptation? How did you, like Nana just said, if the temptation looks yummy, how did you overcome a yummy temptation, brother Bubbly?
No, Missios. As for
Um,
me,
sorry, brother City
what I
just
did
said she
was,
can wait don't on my
um,
temptation. City, we'll get to the part. Munga is going to join us to give us her own perspective on temptation that women themselves face, and how some women overcame those temptations from her own perspective. So, brother Bubbly, go on, please.
as for me, what I did was, I I had to draw the line. I had to draw the line and made it clear to her that we can't continue. You can't continue. Stop. Sorry for me using the proverb. We the pronoun we. I can't continue. I can't continue with you sending me stuffs, and you, in fact, what made me to actually stop everything was, in fact, she was beautiful. beautiful. She had she had the looks basically. She had the looks of of a good lady. But what made me to stop everything was the fact that I had to tell her that what you're doing is wrong, and I can't continue. If you know where you're going, you know your career, you know what you're doing in life.
Mhm.
You will definitely you will definitely be in a position to stop certain things. If as for example, we see what in the American system of government governance or whatsoever. We see we see most people before go into election. That's the time you begin to see that this person who are success minded, when you know where you're going, you will know the certain restriction, you will be disciplined in whatsoever you're doing. Because at the end of the day, you're representing your family, you're representing your community, you're representing your church, and whatsoever. So what I did was I had to put a stop to her by saying, what you're doing is wrong. I can't take this. What I would do next, what I did next was I told her that I will report you, like I will definitely tell your parent that this is what you're doing, and I have an evidence to prove that you've been going you've been going the extra mile. And what again that I did, because I discussed it with the executives. I discussed it with the executives, and then they met her and they spoke to her that what she did, we understand. Like then put and don't say we understand so what you do, like you messed up, but this is it. You take a U-turn and be a person that will add value to others. I don't want to be sarcastic here, disregarding or downplaying the pedigree of that lady. But what I'm saying is, we we must come to a position where we should be disciplined. So I called the executives and I said, this is what is happening, and I can't take this. So we must stop her. And then to God be the glory, the executives they stopped her, and now I'm living I'm living a stress-free life from her. Like she didn't bother me again in whatsoever I'm doing.
Okay. So, Mr. Taylor Young, do you want to take off from there? I think I'll just put the
Yes,
question up again.
yeah, yeah, please. Yeah, please give me the question again.
Okay, so the question says, brothers, having recognized that temptation, example, a lady who is bent on getting you on your knees or ill-gotten money, what barriers do you set to flee such?
You know, Mrs. Tileong is having a good time behind me, honestly.
Yes, of course. I'm very proud
She,
of
I don't know if I have a feeling that she set me up for this. Maybe she has been asking me these questions. I've not been answering her directly, so now she got the platform that I can. All right. Well. Yes, as Bubbly was saying, that's where discipline comes in. You see, they always equate Christians to soldiers. You have to be ready for the battle. At any time, the battle comes in, you have to be prepared. So that's where discipline comes in. As a Christian, you must always know that you are fighting a battle. You are master that you have to run to, and the temptation part of it. And so those temptations that keep us, going to our knees, falling all the times. I think if there is a strong desire for you to serve the Lord and please Him, you will discipline yourself to overcome those temptations.
So 73 is saying that, which is why I disagree with respect to what he has said. It says that objections to an amendment of
Hello, Memona. Am I on?
Siri, can you hear me? Okay, guys, bear with us. The internet is very slow due to the rains. It's been raining here as well, so it's from both ends. Bobbly, are you there?
Line is really.
Bobbly?
Okay, so as I was saying, discipline is is a tool. Is an armory within the Christian yourself with women, knowing fully well that they have the power over men. Either you cut contact with
Oh Lord. So now that the conversation is getting so interesting, the internet wants to do somehow. Okay, I think we'll just go on with our playlist for a
those
bit. So
desires.
okay.
Either you lie, whatever it is, just discipline yourself, and you'll be able to overcome.
Okay. Cyril, is that all?
Yes, my line is having so many
Yeah,
issues.
I
I
noticed
really am
it's
having
the rain.
difficulties.
They said the rain was quite heavy today.
Yeah.
Okay, that is understandable, and I'm sure everyone on here that is viewing us understands that the rains when around this time in Sierra Leone is very, very bad. So okay, I'm just going to we're just going to go back for a quick break and then we'll be back. So I see a couple of but before I go, I see a couple of people that are very interactive in the comments. So Nana, obviously you've been able to tell us that you will not be able to join for certain reasons. So okay, Medron is here. Joel, Sidi, Munge, and Patrick. Okay, so Medron, Sidi, Munge, Patrick, and Joel. The link is in the comment section. People, just copy and paste that link onto your web browser and join us. So the conversation is getting very interesting, guys, and I think that we're leaning towards men overcoming temptations that they get from women. But I want us to have the conversation in other forms. I want us to branch out of that a bit and then just move on to other temptations that we face as young people, not just as men or women, but as young people in general. We can give our own opinions or our own take from our own personal experiences, but also after we've discussed our own personal experiences, I would also like us to go from to branch out of that and just discuss recognizing temptation not only as a man or a woman or from a man or woman perspective, or the temptations we get from men and from women, but also the temptation that we face as young people in general. So we have Munge. Hello, Munge. Hello. Hello. Munge, can you hear me? Oh, guys.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, Bubbly.
Okay.
Okay, I think Munge's internet as well is acting up. So I don't know why the internet decides to do this now that the conversation is getting so interesting. Munge? Munge?
Okay.
I don't
can
think
see
she.
her.
Okay. Hello?
Probably she muted her mic.
Yeah, she needs to disconnect and reconnect her mic. Okay, okay, I'll just go on a quick break, and when we're back, I'm sure the internet will be better.
Mentor X Africa, the future of Africa. Take a deep breath. Lend me your attention. Think about yourself for a minute, about who you were before you became who you are. Would you say throughout your journey you had not a single mentor? Someone whose experience, skill helped you grow? Some of the most successful people stated they had, in one stage of their lives, benefited from mentorship. As a matter of fact, here are some iconic mentorship. Steve Jobs mentoring Mark Zuckerberg, Maya Angelou mentoring Oprah Winfrey, Warren Buffett mentoring Bill Gates, Sir Freddie Laker mentoring Richard Branson. As the world struggles with issues of minority inclusion, it has become increasingly difficult for millions of people to access the right mentors, coaches, or sponsors. And unfortunately, the Black African communities are the most unlikely of these to ever access a sound mentoring program. African community.
Can everyone hear me? Hello?
Yes, Muna.
Hi, Munge.
Hello.
Okay, so you had quite a few things to say in the comment section. So I'm not going to ask you any questions in particular because you already told us that you want to talk about something else with regards to temptation. So I'll just let you go on. Just tell us about what you're going to talk about, and then just go on.
Okay, so good evening, everyone. Okay, so initially when I gave my life, when I accepted Christ as my Lord and Savior, I was this Christian. At the early stage of my Christianity, I knew how to born again. there is one thing I normally say. God, the day I open legs for anyone that is not my husband, just kill me. So that has been my thing. I normally do it publicly in the secret, and that has been my thing for quite a while. So one day, coming from class, then the Holy Spirit said to me, "It is not the oath you took that will keep you in the race. It is not your oath that will keep you in the race. What will keep you in this race is acknowledging the grace of God." So I've been thinking about it. So normally we tend to think it is by might, it is by strength, or it is by power, or it is by the amount of discipline we actually put ourselves on. But it is not. It is by the grace that we are still in this race. It is by the grace of God that we tend not to fall into temptations. Because I have been in a position where I almost gave in. But there's one thing that has kept me, the Holy Spirit. So since last year, I have stopped talking about God, did I open legs for any man that is not my husband before and after marriage, let die. Because it does not work like that. The thing that has kept me is this. God, I know it is not by my might, it is not by my power, it is not by my strength, it is by your grace. Help me go through this race. You know, one thing God likes is the fact that when we dey show we weakness, say, I cannot do it, help me. But if we always tend for show say like we able, and then where on a more serious note, or on a more vivid point, we cannot do it all by ourselves. And so one thing that has helped me in this race is acknowledging the grace of God. I don't know if it works for others, but that has worked for me for like a year and a 6 months. So it is the grace of God. Yes, Badu, it is the grace of God. Because there are times you can don't set up your rules. You say, me, I know they do this, me, I know they do that. And at the end of I don't want something. Yeah, basically you go don't say I'm not laughing, Sam. So sorry guys. So stop, I'm not laughing. Sorry guys. So basically you go don't put to say I know to do this, I know to do that. So I don't even see some people who don't take oath to say make them die. The good thing is God not they kill you. He not they kill you. He's too loving, he's a loving father and a forgiving father. He not they kill we. But a lot of people actually can say, God, if I do this, la die. God, if I make this la die, and we you don't swear that you see self the do one, and it's so funny. So it better let we start for embrace the grace of God. Say, okay, God, I am weak. The Bible say let we come boldly into the throne of mercy and receive grace. So when we walk to God in throne of mercy and ask him, okay, God, I don't fall in this area. Okay, if not sexual sin, Father, I don't fall in this area. Have mercy on me. Give me grace. Ask him for grace in that particular area. And you go see, say, the temptation will come, but grace there enough for like overcome that temptation. My boss is in the Lord. For the past 1 year, 6 months, where I actually don't accept Christ, I've been walking in purity. All kind of temptation don't come. I mean, I don't see guys that are my specs where go make her just fall easily, or this exes where they make her trip. But I cannot go back there because I can always say grace is enough for me in that area of my life.
Exactly.
So what am I saying? I don't know if I'm making sense, but yeah,
You're
let
making
me.
just go on. You're making a lot of sense. So it's good
So
that all of this is coming from a woman's perspective. And I'm sure a lot of ladies listening to this, including myself, have been through the same thing you're talking about now and been through the same things continuously. And you talking about grace, because if it's not for grace, I myself in particular, I can testify that if it's not for grace, certain things that you know you're supposed to do, if it's not for God's grace, you would have done it a long time ago. So you're making a lot of sense. So do go on and just teach us more, please.
okay, so even in early in my Christian walk, at some point in my life, even to last month, I've been this judgmental type of Christian. But to the glory of God, and thank God for the Holy Spirit that has been helping me a lot. But if you and them, they want me if back and say this is not the way out to do it. You know, a lot of people actually they do things they don't want to do. No, not so. It's not discipline. It's not discipline because in that discipline, a lot of people know what they do this right now.
So Munge,
But this is one.
what about other because what you're saying right now is mostly about sexual temptation, and I'm seeing a lot of comments coming in saying what about other forms of temptation that people go through, whether it's losing your temper and saying things that you're not supposed to say, swearing and becoming angry at unnecessary things, which is one of the few things that the Bible tells us that we should not be angry at just for the sake of anger. We should not be fast to get angry and things like
Exactly.
that. What
Yeah.
would you say about that? We have another question, but after you Munge, we cannot hear you. I don't know what the issue is, but we cannot hear you. I think
They are
turn off your
the little
yeah.
sins, the little foxes.
Cyril, you're saying something. Now the conversation is broadening into other various ways of temptation and other things that we do in other ways that we're tempted to do, and we do fall into that temptation. So I'll just put this question up because the network is really bad and people are say something that Munge was continuing with what she was saying, Cyril as well. Bobby, we've not heard anything from you in a while. Munge, can you hear me?
It's the grace of God. And I got me.
Yeah, I can hear you, Bobby.
Hello.
I can hear you, Bobby. Go
I
on.
had someone. Okay, I had someone talking about it's the grace of God. Yeah, yeah. It is the grace of God to overcome temptation. But I want us to know that God he gave us the free will. He gave us will, like to do something. Do it as you please. It as you please. Sorry, do it as you please. He gave us that free will. So as young people, I believe in as much as discipline is involved, the grace also is in as much as the grace is involved, discipline is also involved. You must be disciplined if you want to succeed. Look at most of look at the most successful people around. They are disciplined in what they are disciplined and they
Yeah,
are
I can hear
consistent
you still.
and they are consistent in what they're doing. So as child of God, as young people, we must be disciplined. And I know when you give your life to Christ, automatically you've qualified for the grace. The grace is there. So what is left? What is left to you now is for you to be disciplined enough to stay away from having from doing things that are immoral, for doing things that are not pleasing to God. So the grace is there already. So there are times when I talk to people and they're saying by the grace of God, I do normally say to them, the grace already did it. The grace did it, and not you by yourself. Just play your part. The grace is there. So as Christians, it was Mr. Taylor Young that was talking about discipline, talking about Joseph and all. We definitely must be disciplined in doing that. Many times we temptation is different. There are times we want to read our Bible, then that's the time the devil will probably it will be in our academics. That time the devil will start to say to us, man, go hold the book, go study. For everybody's here, you go candle later. But really, that is another form of temptation. So if you are disciplined enough that God's word, the word of God, is a yardstick for my life, then you can't joke with it. You definitely go and read your Bible. And it can happen in different area. And I see Mr. City's question: how do you stand your ground in face of temptation that is testing your emotional stability? Wow, Mr. Oh my,
Cyril? Cyril?
I,
I
I
think
think
Cyril, yeah, I think his network is quite bad. But Cyril, when you do hear them, or when you do, can you hear me, Cyril? Hello, Cyril? Okay, when you do see the question on the screen, Cyril, please do give your input on it, please. So Bubbly, go on.
yes, Mr. City. The question is, he says, how do you stand your ground in the face of temptation that is testing your emotional stability? Wow, how do you stand your ground? Um, wow, the question is so deep, and well, let's look at this from this angle. Um, how do you stand your ground when you face, like, when you're facing a temptation that would tamper your emotional stability? What you do is you cut it off. The Bible says anything that is not of God, cut it off. Like cut it off. Like cut her off. Anything that is not of God, cut it off. So anything that is why temptation, I defined temptation here as I define temptation as a desire to do something wrong, a desire to do something wrong or unwise or untrue or something that is unpleasing to God. So we as young people, if we know something that want to endanger our emotional stability, we cut it off. Automatically, we cut it off. There are times we might be in a position wherein we think that if we cut this thing off, I might not be able to receive a certain thing. So it all comes wherein if you are disciplined, you are content, you know where you're going. Yeah, you might face some of those difficulties, but if you know what you're doing, you know where you're going, come on, you'll be you nothing will endanger your emotional stability. Nothing will endanger it. You must be in a position to cut that thing off, because if it endangers your emotional stability, then Mr. CD is still reiterating the question. He said,
No, no, no.
am I,
I just put the question back up. So Cyril, can you hear me? Cyril? Okay. Let's just send a chat.
so as I was saying, as young people, we must be in a position to be disciplined. The grace of God is already there. The grace of God is there. How do you stand in order to face temptation? Mr. CD, I will advise you, when that temptation comes, you must be in a position, and you are able to resist that temptation. If it has to do with, relationship, if it has to do with finance, if it has to do with family, what you do is you cut the thing off. Like the Bible says, flee, flee away. You flee, like you flee away from the temptation that you know that it will test your emotional stability. You know, there are times for us as young people, there are times when we face temptation that will absolutely test our emotional stability. That has to do with um relationship. When you know that will endanger your emotional stability to a point, for you to read the Bible, it will be a problem. For you to take care of yourself, it will be a problem. You flee. You automatically flee. You stop what you're doing, because at the end of the day, it is not pleasing to God. So what you do is you stop what you're doing. You stop it. Life is not a chess game that you just play. That you're thinking, or life is a gamble that you think that you will win. There are times if you try to guess it, if you try to guess, you'll be in a total mess. You'll be in a total mess. So, as young people, for you to live a purposeful life, for you to live a life that is pleasing to God, to Jesus, I suggest you abstain. In as much as you have that temptation will come in as much as you have that temptation, I believe you must be in a position to stop it. You must be in a position to stop it. There comes in the word of God. The word of God. That was why Jesus was saying that, lead us not into temptation. We and deliver us from evil. Lead us
Bobby,
not.
1 minute, yeah? Okay, can you hear me? I cannot hear you. So, is anyone watching the live from another device other than the one they're using? Are you watching the live from another device other than the one you're using right now? Either one of you, because I'm getting feedback from my end. So I think if someone is using another device to watch the live, I think you should turn it off. Okay. Cyril, can you hear me now? Cyril? Cyril? Okay, guys. I think the internet is still an issue.
Yes, I can.
Okay.
I've come outside.
I
Oh,
can
okay.
hear.
All right. Okay. Cyril, I'll just put up a question. CD sent. Bubbly just answered that question, and I'll just like to
Yes,
have
I
on it.
can. I can get you now. I've come outside.
Okay. I can hear you. The question on the screen, please. Answer the question on the screen. Munge, I cannot hear you yet. Is everything okay?
Yeah, okay, emotional stability. Are you getting me?
I can hear you, Cyril.
Hello?
Cyril, I can
Are
hear
you
you.
getting me?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. I think it's just the same, emotional stability. I really don't understand what he means by
Okay, I think we have Brother Joel. Okay, I think he's internet. Okay, so the internet is really putting a damp in the program today, viewers. So we'll just give it another 10 minutes. If it's still not working, we'll round up for today. And the fact that this conversation is getting so broad and interesting now, I think we should have it again next week with different people on here. I think next week we should have women. I don't know what you guys think. If you think we should have women next week to discuss this topic further, please do leave a comment saying yes for women next week, and so we can and if you would like to be part of the discussion next week, if you're a woman here and you'd like to be part of the discussion next week, do send us a message on Facebook, on our Facebook here, which is the Gospel Academy, to just tell us that you would like to be part of the discussion next week, if you're a woman, which is because we've gotten a lot of points or a lot of experiences from men, and we would like to just have a take on or point of view from the women out there. So because the men have clearly stated most of their temptation comes from women, trying to overcome temptations from women who want these men. And even though there are lots of other temptations out there which they have discussed, but they have had the biggest temptation they have had, when all of them have spoken, is having the temptations from women who are trying to get their attentions in so many ways, whether sexually or immorally, if you, as we would put it. But I think we need to have the conversation now from a woman's perspective. So, okay, Mrs. Maddie, okay, would have the discussion. Mrs. Maddie, would you like to be part of that discussion? So, yes, guys, that's my pastor's wife. Okay, I'll just add, Munge, can you hear me now? I still cannot hear you. Do you want to take off your earpiece? Probably that's the issue. Okay,
can you hear me?
Yeah, the problem was your earpiece. Okay. You want me to? I'll just put up the question CD sent, because emotional stability or emotional instability is one thing that we do not talk about in the Christian community. We talk about mental health, and I think one of the issues that we face that lead us to temptation is the instability of our emotions on our mental health. So I'll just take you back to the question.
I am not going to be specific in answering the question.
Yeah, that is fine. Just give us your take on it and what you think about how emotional instability plays.
Lot has been said already. You asked me a previous question before this one being displayed on the screen. So firstly, one thing I learned from Bishop Oedipo is the
oh my goodness, the internet keeps getting bad and bad.
You keep determining one. If you want
go on, Munge.
Orange and okay. So if you want to live a life, that glorifies God, then you've got to watch your association, the people you associate with. For me, in my early conversion, I actually changed a lot of things, including the people I roll with, my close friends, because there are things you may not want to involve in, but because of your association, you see yourself doing them. So first thing first, you've got to cut down. You've got to, should I say, cut off some people.
Yeah, peer pressure, no?
Yes. Some people, and basically you not get forward with them, no matter what thing. Because there are times you go say, I know one for drink. But I tell you, I will say, don't be deceived. Evil communication, they corrupt good manners. If that worketh with the wise shall be wise. So if you want for involved in things them we go ruin your relationship with God, then you got to separate yourself. The Bible says we be separate. He said, come out from among them and be ye separate. So there is this power of separation and association. So if we don't want to get ourselves involved into stuff where we not go like, then we get for separate ourselves. That is one. Another thing is, you talk about anger. Me now one person where basically I was battling with anger, like quick me up so and stuff. So I be really get anger issues. But the Bible say your word.
Okay. Internet issues again. Just bear with us. We would be rounding up the program very soon. And we would be having this discussion again next week if we've had Mrs. Maddie who will be joining us next week to have this discussion from a woman's perspective. If we do get more women, probably let's say 3 more women or 2 more women to be part of that discussion next week, we would do it from a woman's perspective. Otherwise, we'll just move on with another discussion. But I think it would be wise or it would be a good thing for us to have this discussion again, because now the discussion is opening different dimensions, it's going in different areas now, and we need to discuss that. Okay, Munge is back. Hello? No worry, we understand. Just go on. Just speak up from where you left off. Munge, we cannot hear you. The line, we can barely pick up any words you're saying because the line is breaking up. But just hold on, let me see. Okay. Hello? No, we can barely hear anything you're saying at the moment. Okay, guys, I think we're gonna end the conversation here for today. Munge, I want you to be part of the discussion next week. Send me a message, yeah? Send me a message on WhatsApp and so we can talk about it further. So next week would be Mrs. Maddie and Munge, and would have another woman obviously with us to have that discussion next week. So we'll end the program here for today. And we've had so many insights and so many views from different people, both male and female, and some of them have joined us on the studio, some of them left comments in the comment section, and we would definitely continue this conversation because a lot of things have been said and also a lot of things have not been said. So we need to open this conversation or this topic even more and open the different dimensions of temptation, because I thought this discussion was going to be short and sweet, but temptation affects everyone in different ways. And after this discussion and after the people that we've had on here, I would say from a male perspective, like I said earlier, from all the temptations they've mentioned, financially, them trying to get to a point where they have from peer pressure, basically, where people they went to school with or their friends that they hung out with once upon a time have gone to a certain level of success, and they're now looking at themselves and reevaluating their lives to see what they could do or what they should do to get to that point that their colleagues or friends have gone to by any means. And as Christians, it's been difficult for them to go through that. And they mentioned that self-discipline is one of the key things that help them go through some of these temptations and overcome some of these temptations. But one of the most common temptation that they all mentioned is temptations from women that want them, and women that would do whatever it takes to get their attention, be it if the men are married or not. So I think we need to open this discussion a bit further next week with women who would give us their own point of views and share with us their own experiences. It was nice of all of you. Sorry, guys. English is not my first language, people. I'm from Sierra Leone. Obviously, our main language, or the most common language spoke, is English, but we do talk Creole all the time. And Creole is broken English, so you have to excuse me sometimes. The Creole go just mix up with the English here and there, and we call it Kringlish, guys. So next week, join me again with Munge, Mrs. Posh, Mrs. Maddie. They go by the name Posh. But anyways, I'll be here with these two ladies and another lady who will be joining us as well to have this discussion, to open this discussion further, like I said. So thank you all for joining me today. Brother Bubbly's still here with us. I'll just leave him. I'll just add him so he can send us off with a word. Brother Bubbly, how would you like to just send us off, or just still this, well, not still the discussion, but just like one or two advices you like to give to people that are watching this, to younger people, because the essence of this discussion is on how to help young people like ourselves to overcome temptation. Bubbly?
Hello.
Okay. Yes, Bubbly.
Yes. As for me, what I would say is the strongest principle of growth lies in human choice. So the choice you make today can determine your tomorrow. So as a person, any social value, commercial value, and whatsoever value, you must come to a position to make the right choice. Today is the tomorrow you worried about yesterday. In a, it's all coined in one's discipline. So nobody is perfect as my sister was saying, work with the wise and will be media platform. You must choose a mentor wisely, because it has to do again with mentors. There are times when I had this is what I'm going through. Then she called me and she said, and Bob, I'm not looking at this. I don't pass through this. This and this and this and this is what you need to do. So better tomorrow. Most of the places I've been, most of the connections I've had, um, all is because I know temptation will come, but it will not be as how it can be when you get party waiting at the street. If
Bobley was trying to say he was trying to give us all some amount of advice, but due to the internet connection, he wasn't able to finish what he was saying. But join us here again next week. I hope you all stay safe. Please do use this opportunity that we're all at home due to the pandemic. Use this opportunity that you're at home to spend with your family. But most importantly, use this opportunity to get to know God. Because if we do not use this time that we have now, when would we be able to have that connection, that personal relationship, that relationship we want to grow, that where we want to get to know him on that personal level? When would we have that time if not now? So just use this opportunity, like I said, keep on thanking him for the fact that he's kept you going. You're not better than, like I say all the time. Oh, sorry guys. You're not better than those who have lost their lives or have lost their families during this pandemic. But like we have been saying during this discussion, is for every single thing that God has given us to us, life, food on our table, roof over our heads, we should be grateful. And it's only by his grace that we only get these things from him. He only gives us these things that which I just mentioned to us. So let's keep thanking him for his grace. So take care, stay safe, and see you all next week. Bye bye.